Well, Emily, do you want to do the honors today?
I was just going to ask you. Yeah, that's fine. I'll do it today, Galen.
All right. It always runs better when you do it. Thank you.
You just say that, so I'll say yes. Are we expecting any guests today? I'll rely on someone else to tell me when we're all here.
No, Nick and Jesse are here from our design team. I don't know if it is your third member joining or are you just you two?
Just me.
Okay, then if you guys are ready, we're ready.
All right. Well, great. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order of the School Building HVAC Project Committee for Polson in hand. It is 8:03. Our first order of business is to approve the prior minutes from December 3rd, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, any discussion or comments about the minutes from anyone? No? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thanks, Galen.
Thank you.
So our first order of new business is Polson HVAC, electrical, auditorium, and gym improvements. So who should I pass it along to?
I'll take it.
Thanks, Ben.
So we hit a major milestone in that we have 100% construction documents submitted from Jesse's team at BL. So I spent the better part of the last 2 weeks going through those, and then Jesse, Nick, and I met yesterday for a 4-hour marathon session to go through all the review notes and comments and everything else, and had some really good discussions and made some alterations to the plans on the fly. Jesse took some back to work through with his team. All in all, really, credit goes to BL, a very tight set of construction documents, not quite ready to put out on the street, so to speak, but much more solid, certainly than some packages I've seen. And really appreciated the thought. A lot of the items that we brought up just as to kind of fill us in on how things are working or the design intent behind certain things. It was really cool to see the thought process that Jesse and his team put behind some of these, like what they seem like pretty small issues. They're like, no, we thought of that. We did this, and this. So really appreciate that from the BL team. And then Nick was able to weigh in on a lot of the constructability and had questions from that angle and kind of as an eye towards actually getting this thing built. So really good team effort, and the scope of the project is where it was, all along here for the past couple months. We're still hitting the same objectives. It's just a matter of we are really now in the details of, do we change a wire from here to here? Do we put this panel outside a penthouse or put it in? Do we use this unit for the gym or this unit? So that's kind of the level of detail we're in now. But the main objectives stay. We will be left with a building with all classroom and instructional spaces fully cooled. We've got our full scope renovation to the auditorium, and a refreshed gym. So kind of next steps with that, we put on here as an approval item. And that's just to gain your buy-in for kind of where we are right now. There's no formal, there's no dollars being spent as after today's decision. Where we will go after this is Jesse's working on some final refinements, but in the meantime, Nick's team is working on the estimating side of things. They've already begun to do that. They've already fired some questions off yesterday, which is really good. And they're going to be working on a construction estimate. Jesse's team is also working on a construction estimate, and towards the end of this month, we'll merge those two together. We'll bring that back at the next committee meeting just to make sure that our budget based on that 4-year plan we had is still valid. And then what we'll look to Gilbane for is our advanced procurement package. And this would be to buy out things such as the electrical switchgear and the generator itself, because as we've been talking about, those are items that have a year plus time frame to actually order. Um, After that, we'll have Jesse's team will put together actual bid documents, and that'll actually be next year about this time that Gilbane will be going out and actually bidding out all these trade packages and working out what we could do when the building's occupied, sequencing, scheduling, all that kind of stuff. So those are kind of the next steps for the project. Now, I hope you guys didn't read the 1,000-page document, but if you did have any questions at a high level of why certain things are being done in a certain way, or just general schematic questions, love to hear them, and then we could tackle them for you.
Thank you. So it sounds like everything's on schedule. Like you said, the timeline, the scope, everything is right on where we would like it.
For sure, yeah.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, no, I do not have any questions on the 1,000-page document myself. Galen probably reviewed it in great detail and has questions
I
prepared.
kicked it over to Diane. She's on it.
We'll rely on her. No, that's excellent. That all sounds great to me. So for today, we're just going to sort of vote our, excitement moving forward, but nothing else you need from us today on that regard.
Yep, it's just basically supporting the milestone that we have 100% construction documents that are still being tweaked and fine-tuned before they go into bid spec. But again, the approval today is just kind of on the schematic and or on the construction documents, not we're not approving any bids or anything like that at this point.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you. So then for the next one, a construction manager's update and next steps.
It's kind of the same
Anything
thing.
else? Same thing?
I
Nothing new to
kind of went into both, but maybe Nick, Jesse, just kind of take it in your words, what your teams will be working on over the next couple weeks before the next meeting.
Yeah, it's been mentioned, we've got about 2+ weeks left of estimating the project. As you mentioned, both of our estimators are well into it now. We need to pin down a date, Ben and Jesse, on when we're going to reconcile that estimate. I just realized I don't think we have anything on the books for that. So probably target toward the end of the month. And then other than that, as Ben mentioned, that once we reconcile the estimate, we'll be pulling together documents for everyone's review to go out to bid to purchase the long lead items, just get those approved and in fabrication ahead of the work starting in summer of 26. So that's where we're at now. That's us for the next probably month or so.
Okay. That sounds
Jesse, you want
great.
to chime in on from your angle there?
Yeah, pretty much just following up what Ben and Nick said. We're basically crossing the T's, dotting the I's on our documents, just finalizing everything so they're as good as they can be. Our cost estimator is working on their estimate, and that, like Nick said, we'll get together and the two estimators will talk to each other and how to get to one reconciled estimate. And that's about it. I think we're in really good shape here. Really happy with how things are developing.
That's excellent. Thank you.
Dr. Cook, I know you joined a little late, so you missed kind of part of my speech. But any questions from your angle?
No, not at all. Thanks, guys. Sorry, I was a little late.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll move on to our approval of invoices unless there's anything else, any questions from the committee or comments from anyone? No. All right. So I'm just gonna, I think we can just approve all these invoices, Galen, in one motion. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll need a motion to approve the following invoices. BL Companies invoice number 2302234-8, under $1,300 for professional services from October 26, 2024 through November 29, 2024. An invoice for Silver Petroselli, invoice number 24-1517, $600 for DHHS RTU replacement professional services through November 30th, 2024. An invoice for Colliers, invoice number 000-100-4796, $1,526 for professional services rendered through October 31st, 2024. And then Gilbane, invoice pre-con number 1, $24,598 for work performed and services rendered during pre-construction phase.
Okay, so moved.
Okay, any discussion or comments? Okay, in favor?
Aye.
All right, invoices are approved. Thank you. Public comment. I see we have one member of the public on. If they have any comment, Seth, that's you. Raise your hand if you want to say anything. I don't see anything. Okay. All right. Any other remarks before we close our meeting? All right. We'll adjourn at 8:12 a.m. Brief meeting this morning. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks,
You
Emily.
too.
Thanks,
Stay
everybody.
warm.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good day.
Bye.